Hey everyone, this is Mike and welcome to Bard in 4 minutes. Bard doesn't have normal combos but rather has a priority system. Stormbite and Caustic Bite are our 2 damage over time skills. We want to have these on the target at all times as they play an important role for the rest of our kit. To make it easier to keep our dots up, we have Iron Jaws, which will refresh both of our dots to their full duration. When we don't have to refresh our dots, we have Burst Shot. This is your filler GCD that you will be using when nothing else needs to be done. All of the GCDs I just mentioned also have a 35% chance of granting you the Straight Shot buff. This buff allows you to use Refulgent Arrow, which is a high damage single target GCD. Barrage is an ability that makes the next single target skill hit 3 times, and this will also grant us the Straight Shot buff, so in other words, we want to use Refulgent Arrow right after using Barrage. For AoE we have Quick Knock. This will deal damage in a cone in front of you and also has a 30% chance to reset the cooldown for Bloodlether and Rain of Death. Bloodlether is a single target off global cooldown, while Rain of Death is the AoE variant. So let's move over to our songs. Bard has 3 of them and we will always want to have 1 active. Wondrous Minuet will increase the crit rate of our party members by 2% while also allowing us to use Pitch Perfect. Each time our dots deal damage, we have a 40% chance to be granted a repertoire stack. To keep things simple, I'm just going to be referring to this as a proc. Each time you proc, you will fill up your Pitch Perfect stacks by 1, and this stacks all the way up to 3 times, which then in turn allows you to use the off-global cooldown Pitch Perfect. This will deal more damage the more stacks you have. Our second song is Mage's Ballad. This will grant a 1% damage buff to your team, and each time your dots proc, you will also reset the duration of Bloodlether and Rain of Death. Our final song is Army's Paeon, and this will grant a 3% direct hit buff to your party, while each proc will grant you a stacking attack speed increase. This can stack up to 4 times. When you start singing a new song during Army's Paeon, you will carry part of this attack speed buff into the next song for 10 seconds. If Army's Paeon runs out, then you will be granted a 30-second buff, and then if you start a new song during these 30 seconds, then the same effect will occur. Each time you get a proc from your dots, you will also be filling up the soul gauge by 5 each time. This will allow you to use Apex Arrow, a skill that deals damage in a line in front of you. The more your soul gauge is filled, the more damage your Apex Arrow will deal. In terms of priority, Wondrous Minuet is your strongest song, which we want to sing for the full 30 seconds. Mage's Ballad we will also want to sing for the full duration, and then Army's Paeon we want to sing for 20 seconds. The reason why we want to cut it short is because our buff abilities are on an 80-second cooldown. Raging Strikes will increase our damage dealt by 10%. Repelling Shot will make you jump away from your target, but this doesn't deal any damage, so it's purely there for movement. The Warden's Paeon will remove 1 debuff from either yourself or a party member, and if they don't have a debuff yet, they will be granted a 30-second buff, which will automatically cleanse the next debuff they receive while the buff is active. Battle Voice is your raid buff. This will increase the direct hit rate for your party by 20%, but you can only use it while you're singing one of your 3 songs, and it also doesn't apply to yourself. Imperial Arrow will deal damage and also proc your current song, so this is a way to remove a little bit of RNG from your rotation. Sidewinder deals damage, and the more dots you have active on a target, the more damage Sidewinder will deal. This also shares a recast timer with Shadowbite, which is the AoE version of this. Again, this will deal more damage if your current target is affected by your dots. Troubadour will reduce all damage taken for your party by 10%, and Nature's Min will grant a party member a buff that will increase their healing received by 20%. Let's round it off with our role actions. Leg Grace will apply a heavy on a target, slowing their movement speed. Second Wind is a personal heal. Foot Grace will bind a target. Peloton will increase the movement speed of your party, but this will only work while out of combat. Head Grace will interrupt your target, and Arm's Length will negate most knockbacks. And that does it for Bard in 4 minutes, so I want to thank you for watching, I want to thank my Patreons for their support, and I'll see you in the next one.